I hope we are live. If we're live, we're live in front of a live studio audience because it is, of course, everyone's favorite night. I hope. Oh yeah. Greetings, everybody. My name is KG Prestige. Hopefully, I sound okay. You can hear me good. Everything sounds good, crispy, clean, etc. And if so, then we can continue. But if things are not working, I obviously have my setup right here to go ahead and have a little bit of fun tinkering with the shenanigans and whatnot, so we can actually go ahead and begin tonight's session. So we're live, indeed we are live. But for some reason, Mr. Chatbox over here is not live, and so it's telling me that we are not fully live as much as I would love to say we are live. We're not fully live. I need to go ahead and log into the YouTubes. What was my account again in this thingy? I hate it. I hate that I don't remember. Shit. Oh my god. No, don't worry, guys. I'm shit. I'm shooting the shit here with this one. I promise you guys, I am doing good. Okay, I swear to God, I'm already doing good. I just need to grab my chat box because the chat box is kind of the most, well, sort of important thing I would like to, I would like to take because I want to chat with y'all guys proper. And I don't see. Oh, that's why it's not working. What the hell is this link? Okay, there we go. Is it going live now? I have no idea. If it's not live, this is sad. I'm sad that it's not live. All right. All right. Hold on a second. We gotta go ahead. We gotta copy it. We gotta make sure. Otherwise, it's probably gonna come in later ish. I don't know. We'll find out as the stream continues. But so far, it's telling me that everything should be running fine indeed. I sound great though. That's great. Um. Alas, I don't know. We'll figure out if Chatbox decides to be nice with us, and we'll go ahead and start talking about it. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm gonna assume you did. Otherwise, I'd be questioning how this is even happening. I'm currently not where I would normally be. Like, I am in a entirely different section entirely in my room. As in, I'm not really here where you would think I'd be. So, with the power of beautiful connection, and of course Mr. Green Screen Coon over here doing his job, of course. I'm now transported into the world of Le Mario, and so I am excited, as you could tell just by this, for the fact that Super Mario, well, not Super Mario, but Mario Kart World, amongst many other titles, are going to be coming out soon, really soon. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to, hey, there's the box, finally, bros in Narnia. I wish I was there, buddy, but I don't have a wardrobe to get my ass in there. I'm just saying. But ooh, this is gonna be a lit. Well, let me see. I think it should be fine if we leave it like right here. I think it'll be fine as long as the text is readable. Maybe I have to make the text black or something. Let's take a look at the chat box options. We got choices, chat. We got choices. All right, let's see. What about no? Where's the old school layout? I like the clean layout. You know what I mean? The really old school design. No, that's a retro as hell, man. What the hell is this? Okay, whatever. We'll go with this one. All right. Well, first of all, chat, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing okay. Hope we're all having a good time thus far. Yeah, let's go ahead and have some fun with tonight's session. I wanted to go ahead and sit down with all of y'all to talk. Well, first of all, I've been away for a long time, so sincerely apologize for that. It's been a hot minute. I know. I wish I had more time prior in the past. Things happen, and here we are as of now. But thankfully, things have gotten better. I have a little bit more opportunity to go ahead and chat with y'all. And so, I want to go ahead and do just that. So that's what we're here for tonight. Okay, so chat box is looking to work proper. Very grateful for that. Okay, we'll just move it over here. Good. And yeah, so let's go have a little bit of fun. Let's go ahead and talk about just the fact that a bunch of things are coming out next week. And the fact that, yeah, no, this is going to be exciting. This is genuinely shaping up to be a really fun launch for Nintendo and just for gaming as a whole. As you guys already know, the Nintendo Switch 2 is about to be launching in just a week from now, at least from when the stream has gone live. And so I thought to myself, how nice that would be to go ahead, as we wait for the final week anyway, to go and talk about the Nintendo Switch's history. Just the original one, of course. I have my OLED here with me. I don't know if the green screen will be nice or not. Okay, no, it is pretty nice here. Look at that right here, my beautiful Nintendo Switch. Specifically the OLED edition. And I want to talk about my time with this console. I want to talk about my experiences with this console and a lot of the games that I own and some of the games that I wish I got and some of the games I'm looking forward to from the Switch 2, and most importantly, what games am I going to be playing immediately on this said thing? Well, not this one, but the sequel, of course. So yeah, let's go have a little bit of fun, why don't we? But before we do that, let's go and say hello to everybody in chat. How you lovelies doing? I see Boom in the chat there. How you doing? Pirate, hey, how you doing there, Pirate? Hope you're doing well. Kuro, I see, of course, my buddy there, Javier. Hope you're doing good. I saw Adam earlier ago as well joining in. Green screen water. Delicious. All right, so, yeah. No, man, it's just a very nice time to think about, the Nintendo Switch, its career, how it lived its journey, the pros and cons, the miracle ports that it had, the amiibos, you remember these cute little critters, of course, when it was launched with the Wii U, but then continued to expand and grow even more with the Switch library. Of course, introducing one of the greatest gifts mankind has given us in the form of our cutie little patootie right over here, Miss. What happened? Oh, it's a sleepy eye. The Hisui Zorua, of course, the cute little Zorua line we got from Legends Arceus, of course, and just a bunch of other titles that I just want to go ahead, sit down, and man, there's just so much to talk about, really, when it comes to what fans can expect from this new console that's going to be dropping sometime later in the year. So yeah, let's just sit down, relax, and just chit chat about it. So before we continue, though, I do want to mention before I forget it, anyway. That like how many of you guys already had the opportunity to pre-order the Nintendo Switch, or are you planning to hopefully get your hands on it when it launches later in the year? Now, as I mentioned already, I'm getting it at launch. I pre-ordered 2 of them. Of course, I had to get one for myself and one for my little brother. So it only made sense that I would do that. Also, you know what? I'm gonna move the chat box over here. I think it'll look better in this area, in my opinion. I think it may look a little bit better over here because there's nothing that's blocking, or like no white that's being shown here. 2 Xenoblade games, I mean, absolutely. It's funny enough, like my Nia figure from Xenoblade 2, the really big figurine that they made for Nia from that game, I have it right here. That's something that is a journey and an experience all on its own because of the games I played on Switch 2, on Switch. So yeah, no, I'm just excited, man. it's just crazy to me as a fan, who's been playing with the Switch for 8 years now, since its launch to where we're standing right now. 8 full-fledged years, game releases upon game releases, new content coming out, DLC that you would not expect from past games, and just a bunch of other things too in the Switch's lifestyle, and how I feel, especially during the time when the pandemic happened, really united a lot of people together more than ever in the worldwide of video games as a whole, So, yeah, let's go ahead and just start talking about it. Now, I have with me underneath my wardrobe, like it's just literally just a big-ass box here of Nintendo Switch products, and I wanted to go ahead and just sort of pluck one out one at a time and talk about my experiences with these titles, and most importantly, am I looking forward to them if they get Nintendo Switch 2 editions, which I guess we should go ahead and talk a little bit about that, especially with one title in particular, if I can pull the copy out right now. Here we go. I don't know how it'll look on the green screen, but this one right here. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. The one I currently have on hand right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the double pack. Why did I buy a double pack? because I'm crazy. But the reason why is just because I liked owning the entire collection, so I bought both games. Costed me like, what was it, $120 because it's like 60 each. Man, when the Switch 2 version of Pokemon Gen 10 comes out, these games may go up to $70 a pop. Keep that in mind. It might be more difficult to own dual versions than it is now. It's already crazy as is. We jumped from the 3DS pricing to Switch pricing, and now we're switching from Switch pricing over to Switch 2 pricing, and it could get really bad. The best thing about the Switch, the memories, all the chats, podcasts. Oh man, no, this franchise, well, with Nintendo as a whole, and not just even that, like with games like this right here, hours upon, like maybe thousands of hours I've spent with this title. And it's justified, I felt, in my opinion. Now, mind you, of course, this game is terrible. Don't get it twisted in the sense of like bad frame rate, very glitchy environments, and a bunch of other unnecessary BS that thankfully is going to get fixed in the Switch 2 version, which is actually what I wanted to talk about. I'm actually excited to replay this game. Mainly because of the fact that I get the opportunity to actually play it, I think, the way Game Freak intended for us to play, but it wasn't powerful enough on the Switch 1, which makes no sense. But still, it's more comfortable on the Switch 2, and I feel, in my opinion, the increased frame rate, the higher fidelity, and of course the maybe not glitchless, but just in general, a lot more of an enhancements that are coming from the Switch 2 version is going to make Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet feel like completely brand new games. And that sounds crazy, I know, but oftentimes gamers need to always experience that sometimes a second playthrough, especially in a different setting, could make a whole world of difference. And Scarlet and Violet could be like that. I've had friends who have mentioned to me just how abysmal it is playing on this thing. It is uncomfortable, it is eye straining, and it is just impossible for them to comfortably play this game. So I hope when the Switch 2 launches and they still have their copy of Scarlet and Violet and they get a Switch 2, they can go ahead and, well, get their hands on this again, and maybe this time things will be different. I'm gonna be real, I know Mario Kart World is going to be there. Like, I'm excited for it when I get my Switch 2, but this to me, I feel, is probably gonna be the one that's going to make the world a difference, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. I kid you not. I cannot wait for when this arrives, bro. On the Switch 2. This is gonna be so unique. Like, I want to replay. Like, I really want to stream this game again, and I want to do a full playthrough of Violet this time around compared to when I was doing Scarlet. But the difference that I want to do with Violet is that I want to do a full Koraidon slash Miraidon-less journey, in that I don't ride that Pokemon at all in the entire region of Paldea, and just try to see how I should experience the game without that damn creature. And we'll see if it's functional or not. But I really want to give my second experience with this title a fresh perspective and a fresh coat of paint. So I'm challenging myself with that with this title, and I hope that it succeeds in doing so. So yeah, Scarlet and Violet are one of the many titles I am personally looking forward to. I can't wait to, well, play it when it comes on the Switch too. So that's going to be an exciting title right there. I have a bunch of other titles right over here that I think would be fun to go and talk about. Also because of the fact that uh, the there's like, I think, 8 games or 10 games, I think, that are confirmed to be getting Nintendo Switch 2 editions or enhancements on the said console that will make the experience a lot better. For example, I know the Clubhouse Games, I do own that title, is going to be getting a Switch 2 enhancement, which is looking to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to get my hands on that, and hopefully it functions as well as it should. I'm gonna not be, lying on that front. I think it might actually be a really good game to play online too. And given that I think it offers game share, if I'm correct, where no, not game share. What is it? Like, where everybody can play it with just one copy of the game. I think it's gonna create a lot more opportunities for people to try out titles they may have not had before. How you doing there, Ryan? Hope you are doing well, sir. And yeah, no, so that's one title I'm looking forward to playing from the Nintendo Switch line. Super Mario 3D World, I think, is also going to be a wonderful title to get my hands on and play. only because of the fact that I believe it's also getting enhancements, I think, from Bowser's Fury and uh, the capability of once again playing online with friends. I think it's just going to make this game a lot more fun to traverse and journey into. So, yeah, I hope. And I guess I should also mention that the Nintendo Switch Online in general, like I'm talking about just the online functionality, I really hope it's drastically improved compared to its counterpart on the Switch. Because the Switch's internet connection on this thing, if you're not connected to to the Ethernet port or anything on the back of that thing, if you're not connected to that, you are going to have kind of an abysmal time with this when everybody else is with the Ethernet port. And so I hope that the Switch 2's internet connection and all that stuff is much more powerful and much more connected than it needs to be, you know? It deserves it. I think like if you're gonna be trying to push the kind of gaming like this for internet connections and all that, you deserve to give fans the opportunity to, well, not have to really stress or worry about needing to, connect this thing through the internet port. In my opinion, of course, but yeah, I would prefer if it's not the case there. But let me see. What titles do I got going on right over here in the World Wide Webs of the games? Um, I don't really know if they're going to be doing one, but I did want to talk about this title anyway, in particular, as we're talking about Nintendo Switch experiences. Okami. Anybody remembers Okami? That game that was originally, I think, on PlayStation, and then it went into Wii. And now it's here on the Nintendo Switch from the Okami HD collection that was available, I think, on PS4. Now here in my hands on the Nintendo Switch. So, fun fact about Okami HD, well, not really fun fact, but it is a fact regardless. It never got a physical copy here in the US. And it was only physical in Japan, if I recall correctly. That's why if you look over here, this is all in Japanese kanji. The reason why this is the case is because I guess they just wanted to keep Okami as a digital only when they released it on the Switch, except in Japan. So, this is one of those rare titles that I own from the Nintendo Switch library that is specifically imported from Japan. And this is something that the Nintendo Switch introduced that wasn't available before in the past, and that is the ability to not have to worry about region lock. That was something that fans were kind of curious to see if that was going to be a thing when getting your hands on a Switch 2, and lo and behold, it isn't the case. It actually is region lock free. So any game that you import from another part of the world, whether it be in Europe or in Japan, Australia, whatever it may be, they are not region locked. They are games that you can plop into your system, they will detect it, and you will be good to go. And I love that. I really did love that from this console because it allowed me to do things like this. I loved owning physical copies for Nintendo games or just games in general. So when I heard that Okami was only going to be digital only, but I did hear it was coming physically in Japan, of course, I had to get my hands on this. And so I did. And I'm happier because of it. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the fact that Switch 2 is going to be running things a little bit differently. And I wanted to ask you guys as well the importance and also maybe the direction I think audiences may go with the Switch 2 this time around. But we'll get to that discussion when we get to that. Yeah, like I said, I got a bunch of other titles here that I could try to grab my hands on right now. To kind of show off exactly what titles I own on the Nintendo Switch. So this is gonna probably be green screen to death if I'm correct. Yeah. Oh my god. I know there's a lot of blue, but I swear to god this is Minecraft. This is not diamonds. This is straight up grass, but it's green of course, so it came out looking horrible. But yes, Minecraft. That's a game I own on the Nintendo Switch. My little brother is the one who actually got his hands on that. He wanted to play it on this thing. And game looks great as well on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm curious to see how that's going to be on for the Nintendo Switch 2. Will they really do any enhancements? Will that whole RTX on and off feature that was introduced in like one of the trailers in the past, will that be implemented into the Switch 2? I don't know, but we'll find out in the time, I guess. Okay, here's another title, and we're going back to Pokemon once again. Pokemon Shield. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Why don't we? Oh, look at that. For some reason, this part is green screen. I don't really know why. It's all supposed to be red, but I guess not. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. These titles are very unique in the sense that I didn't really have as much fun on the single player side of things for Pokemon Sword and Shield. But if we're talking about multiplayer in Sword and Shield is probably one of the most fun experiences I had. The Dynamax adventures, the yeah, the Dynamax adventures really was a selling point for that. Now, of course, being able to roam around in the wild area was also pretty fun if you could manage to find yourselves there. And I just love the opportunity to kind of experience, everybody all together collectively playing Pokemon in such fun ways. I think Sword and Shield really was the beta to what Scarlet and Violet became. Hey Terrell, how you doing there, buddy? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so Sword and Shield introduced a lot of things, but I believe personally, Sword and Shield are probably the best online multiplayer games from the Pokemon franchise in general. If we're talking about combat, it has beautiful aesthetics with the stadium designs and everything like that. If we're talking about mini games or just multiplayer games, the Dynamax Adventures alone solidifies this experience tenfold because everybody's not rocking the team that they have built. It's all completely given to you by the game itself, the wild Pokemon you get, and what will be transferred over once you finally complete the trials in the Dynamax. So it is one of the games that I believe, while it fell flat in the storytell department and in the single player side of things, I will not deny that the game absolutely nailed everything that was essential for online multiplayer fun. If you have three other buddies with you and all have played Pokemon Sword or Shield, they will have a good kick with the online multiplayer. It is genuinely a really fun experience, and I would highly recommend people to try more of that. And I hope that there gets a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade for this, not like the $10 pack, but like at least a little, slight more boost in frame rate and all that. I think this game would really resurge as a title that I think fans would grow to love and enjoy once again in a fresh coat of paint, of course. Sadly, while Alola was built on hype, Galar was built on controversy, and the anime didn't course the damage. Yeah, Sword and Shield introduced the bad tree, the really, really shitty tree. I know. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time tree. Anybody remember that story? That tree caused nothing but controversy, bro. And good God, it could have been a lot better visually. I'm gonna be real. I think Sword and Shield graphically looks a lot better than Scarlet and Violet. But if we're talking about the way it's structured and everything like that, I think it kind of falls flat. Like the wild area, yeah, they look horrible. But if we're talking about like that forest with the glow in the dark mushrooms and all that stuff, or the snowy mountains, they look really spot on and great. But if we're talking about just a particular tree, then yeah, it kind of looks like ass. I'm gonna be 100% transparent there. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better. Will it be better later down the road? Like I said, maybe the Switch 2 update will come for that. You never know. You never know when that's going to be the case. So, yeah, let's continue on with another title I have in here. Funny enough, since I saw Mr. Insane Game Freak or my buddy Terrell there in the chat talking about this, I have on hand with me probably one of the best JRPGs you could get your hands on in the Nintendo Switch. This is something that was announced, I think, early on in its lifespan, and we never got it until a couple of years later. But this was the definitive version to playing this title, and I'm talking about, of course, Dragon Quest XI S. Echoes of an Elusive Age. This title, oh my god. If you want to talk about a really fun experience from beginning to end, look no further than this incredible JRPG. This is a wonderful title, wonderful cast of characters. I love the concept. I love the mechanics. It really brought an old school JRPG vibe that I was missing experience wise from the latest generation consoles or releases and all that. Like not even Xenoblade can fill the void that what this one did. This title did so good in my eyes. I really recommend, if you have not played Dragon Quest at all, try 11S. I think this title nails a lot of what makes JRPG gaming and turn-based stuff just so much fun. Storytelling is great. The world is amazing. The settings are beautiful. The characters are great and varied, from cute to wholesome and just everything in between. I love it all. I love this cast. I love these characters, and I cannot wait to see when the next Dragon Quest game comes out on Switch 2. I hope it comes out on Switch 2, Dragon Quest 12. But if we're talking about 11, though, gets my seal of approval. Definitely should be a game you should own. Even if it comes out on the Switch 2 as an enhancement, definitely try that out. Highly recommended. For a moment, I thought you were going to bring back ARMS, but fair enough. I mean, I do have ARMS here. We'll get to that ARMS discussion. But for now, we'll go through all the other titles I own. These are not in order from when I bought them, mind you. But, I had a lot of fun with just owning said titles, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to try them out. So, I'm going to be 100% real with you. I have no knowledge of this franchise. The only reason I bought this title is mainly for the fact of one thing and one thing only. Uh, Dragons. Just cool dragons. Has anybody ever heard of a title called Shining Resonance Refrain? I'll put that right over here. Actually, you know what? I could take that out so it'll be a little bit easier right there to see. Shining Resonance Refrain. And if you don't want to see the steelbook thing, I do have it released as this right here. So here we go. Shining Resonance Refrain. Now, I'm be 100% real with you. Like I said, the only reason I played this title is for one reason and one reason only. At one point later down the road, you get to play as a dragon. And so, of course, me being a fan of dragons, I wanted to go ahead and play said character. Turns out he's the main protagonist. And this is such a fun, quirky game. It's nothing like mind-blowing. It's nothing like compared to Dragon Quest 11. This is like a very nice little niche type of game. But I love the characters. I love the setting. I love the interactions that you can get with like the bond stories with the characters whenever you go visit them across the town and all that. You see the world build itself up. You learn more about the setting and the environments of what's happening in this game. And of course, you learn more about who these characters are, and more importantly, who this character is as well. So, Shining Resonance Refrain is nothing that I would say go out of your way to buy, but the reason I bought this is because it came into this nice little steel box thing, so I wanted to get that. It sticks out poorly compared to like all the other titles here, because it's like one of the rare Switch titles that look like this. It could have been a lot better, but hey, I still had a fun time with this game, and I would still recommend people to go ahead and try it out. I think people would love it a lot. Personally, of course. But if anybody, if I ever bring a title that might be something you've played, by all means, also share your experiences with the chat. Let me know what you guys have to say about a title that you've played on Switch more than like any other title. Very curious to hear what you have to say about that. Let me see, and let me go and move these to the side real quick. I already showed off Scarlet and Violet, and also showed off the Okami HD games. Let's go ahead and start showing off some of these other titles that I have here as well. So, there we go. Alrighty. Hey, look, more Pokemon. I didn't realize I own more physicals. Sometimes you buy a lot of games and you don't realize how many titles you own until you start looking back at them. And this is another one that fills that void as well. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers, or whatever it's called, Red Rescue Team, Blue Rescue Team, DX. This title is also a wonderful experience. However, I wouldn't say it would be a new experience, mainly because of the fact that this is a remake of the GBA classic Pokemon Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team that was on the DS for that one specifically. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a franchise that I also very much love. I enjoy the hell out of Explorers of Time and Darkness. I enjoy the hell out of Super Mystery Dungeon, especially Super Mystery Dungeon. One of the best stories from the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon franchise, and most importantly, one of the most heart-wrenching finales for the franchise too. Because I don't think we ever really got a completely brand new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon after Super Mystery Dungeon. Super Mystery Dungeon, if that was to be the last new title, is a wonderful way to go out. I loved the ending. I loved the story. I loved what I read. And it emotionally got to me by the ending of it all. It's such a good experience. And I would also go out of my way to say that that the Rescue Team Deluxe Edition is also great as well. Completely taking away the pixel art that was introduced in these other titles in the past and giving a fresh coat of paint. Um, yeah, it's crazy. That's the last one. Yeah, we got a new snap and that's it. I wish we got our hands on a new Mystery Dungeon game. I could tell that they want to cook something new, and you have almost no, you have over 1,000 Pokemon. I guarantee you, people want to be, a Sprigatito. People want to play as like as what is the name of the Pokemon? Grookey. I don't know why you want to be Grookey, but hey, more power to you if you want to be Grookey. But you know, like people want to play these Pokemon, the newer ones that aren't even available in the other sets. So that would be nice. Super Mystery Dungeon 10 years ago. Jesus Christ, 10 years ago, bro. I have my Super Mystery Dungeon copy somewhere in the closet there. But we'll save that for whenever we talk about the 3DS retrospective. So yeah, no, it's just I really wished we got a new Mystery Dungeon game on the Switch, and if the Rescue Team title is meant to be a way for them to get themselves reacquainted and also kind of create a brand new visual design for like the next Mystery Dungeon game, then so be it. Okay, I'll take it. But I hope you're cooking really good with the next Mystery Dungeon game. Then you do have a Pokemon Presents in a couple of months from now. Come on, you're telling me you're cooking something good. I hope. So let's see. The next title. This one's gonna be impossible to show on green screen, except you see the Kirby there. So hey, it's Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So this one I am excited to play the Nintendo Switch 2 version because it does get a graphical enhancement. It does get new content, and it's of course my boy Kirby. Why wouldn't I love Kirby? And so, you know, I think it would be a wonderful, wonderful title to just replay over again. This is one of the really cool Kirby games in that it's kind of a 3D Kirby game. Completely it's a 2.5D Kirby, I guess you could say. It's like the 3D elements, but it's not open world Kirby. It's just a truly adventure Kirby type of title. A lot of cool transformations, a lot of unique transformations, and you get to be a car. And that ending, if you want to talk about boss fights, the ending of this game is absurd. It is insane, and I cannot wait to play my hands on the DLC for this because the lore in the DLC is probably also just gonna go as crazy too. Just saying. All right, next title I got on my hand here. This one's a classic. This is technically a remake, but it is a classic. And in fact, this title actually kind of introduced the idea of what the Nintendo Switch 2 could be like via the code process in the background. Given that this game was mentioned that it actually created 4K assets that you really can't do on the Switch 1, so why the hell is that there in the background? And people are thinking that we're going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of this later down the road. That being of Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, the remake. As a fan of the original, as a big fan of the original, never in my wildest dreams did I think we would ever get a remake of a turn-based Paper Mario game. As you already know, with Color Splash, Sticker Star, the Origami King, like we never thought we would see a new Paper Mario game that would go back to the roots of what made Paper Mario so special. With its combat, with its cast of characters, with its quirky writing and everything. Nobody did think we would ever see this title come back in any way, shape, and form. Nobody even thought we would see the battle mechanics that were introduced in that title back into this era. And so when it was officially announced via Nintendo Direct and we got to see the book open up and everything, yeah, no, it was exciting. It was absolutely a wonderful joy to experience this title once again in a fresh coat of paint, completely built from the ground up. The the music that the remixes that they made for the battle themes for each chapter goes freaking nuts. I love the train one. The train one is my personal favorite, and I hate that it's my personal favorite because I think you can only fight like one or two enemies in that train before you go into the next chapter. It's kind of crazy, not gonna lie. But Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, another title I would highly recommend if you haven't had a chance to play. And given from what's been kept behind the background with this title, I get the feeling that we might see an enhancement for this on the remake on Nintendo Switch 2. Will it happen? I don't know. But I guess we'll find out when the time comes, of course. Ooh, this one's gonna be an exciting one to talk about because I love this title. This title means everything to me, man. This title is what got me to love this franchise so very much. And I am so grateful I got to play this game. I bought this game, well, not really this one, but the sequel to this game, digitally, physically, and then the physical limited edition version of it. I absolutely adore the Xenoblade franchise. So of course, I have to go ahead and talk a little bit about Xenoblade Chronicles. But this one in particular, out of the three, this one is my personal favorite. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The writing in this story is absolutely phenomenal. I love the cast of characters: Rex, Pyra, Mithra, like the trio right here, learning about the story behind how these characters became who they are and how they grew up, and just the world building, traveling from one place to another, and just watching the story unfold. And I want to go deeper into this without going too deep into the spoiler territory, so I might save a Xenoblade discussion for another day. But good God, this game is so good, and that ending, I wish man, if there's anything that I am hurt by the most when it came to my old channel being deleted, it's that the content that I made for it when I made the full playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on YouTube, that was also gone as well. And my emotions behind some of the things that happen in the later parts of the chapter, and most importantly, the finale, had me emotionally destroyed. It's such a good game. What an incredible OST. And this is the title that got me to love Xenoblade as a whole. I love this franchise. I can't wait to see what Monolith Soft has cooking for the next title with Xenoblade Chronicles 4, if that's what they're going to call it. It could be a completely new franchise entirely. Maybe we're finally getting to the end of Xenoblade and now it's going to be Xeno something else. You never know. Like maybe Xeno's Spear or something. We don't know what the next Xeno game is going to be. But until then, though, until we learn what the next one is going to be, I'll always appreciate Xenoblade Chronicles 2 the most. I do have Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the special edition, and 3, the special edition as well. But they're in their boxes over there. They're like in their full on boxes. I don't have them like on physical hand right here. But the one I do is for this one specifically. And you are absolutely correct, sir. You are absolutely correct, girl. 100% Rex is the king. I demand to see. No, actually, no, I don't demand to see. I remember seeing nothing but apology letters to my boy Rex when that DLC for Xenoblade 3 got first revealed. When you saw Shulk and Rex for the first time, everybody started releasing apologies for him. And most importantly, the finale of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the main campaign, whoo, boy. This guy right here, this man right here in the middle, the GOAT, for sure. My boy, the GOAT, Rex. Alright, let's go ahead and drink some more water, because I'm thirsty, of course. And talk about more games, why don't we? How about the next one over here that's probably going to look terrible on the green screen? The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going to be 100% real with you. I enjoyed this game, but I did not put down as much hours as I thought I was going to put in this game compared to its predecessor that I did put hundreds of hours in, which was Breath of the Wild. And to be quite honest, the main reason is, well, it's just more of Breath of the Wild, but with different techniques and movesets and all that. Like, I still enjoyed what I got to experience. I still enjoyed, collecting things and going through different dungeons and all that stuff. Like, the game is great. The game is phenomenal and deserves all the praise that fans have been giving this. Don't get it twisted. I just believe, at least from my perspective anyway, and just moving on to the next game and playing other things as well. Did you get your Switch 2 pre-order? Absolutely. First of all, Executive Judge, how you doing? But yeah, so I wanted to love this game a lot more. Personally, I still do, but I think Breath of the Wild is the king of this type of title. And I mean, to be fair, it is the same land, just rearranged a little differently. But Yeah, no, that's really all I got to say for this one. Nothing really out of the ordinary. I don't even remember the story too much. I will say the ending was pretty wholesome though. But like, actually no, it wasn't. It was the ending, and it was I think the final cutscene when you learn about what happened to Zelda, and that shit blew my mind when we learned about it. Um, and so yeah, no, like there are some really good things from Tears of the Kingdom. I just think Breath of the Wild hits it better, in my opinion. I just think Breath of the Wild, especially, I mean, that that final trailer for Breath of the Wild will forever be one of the most legendary trailers in video game history. I'm not joking you. Breath of the Wild's final trailer, the one that they had in the Nintendo Switch presentation, will forever be the most legendary trailer of all time. Pure facts, no line. It is what it is. They wanted to replicate the magic, but lightning in a bottle isn't gonna make it. Well, it didn't make it for me, but I'm pretty confident it did for others, though. And if those who did get it got it, I'm happy for them. It's just for me personally, and given how many other games I own here, I just did not have the time to redo these kind of adventures again. But that's just my take on the matter, of course. And at the end of the day, if you love a game that I might not have loved as much, by all means, continue to enjoy it, continue to love it. Don't let my opinion sour or destroy your overall opinion on that. Have fun with these titles. I think you will have a wonderful experience with that. If you have had the opportunity to play this game, of course. And if you do own this, and I honestly, I think maybe I might give this a chance again with the Switch 2 because technically I get a free update to this thing. So, and given I haven't fully completed all of this stuff, maybe on the Switch 2 I might see it have a different, perspective. You never know. I'm just saying. I have like 8 games for my Switch, 6 of them being physical. Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit more about digital when we get to the digital discussion because that's also going to be another thing we have to discuss. Um, I'm gonna try to go through as many as I can quickly. Super Mario Party Jamboree, another really good title. I enjoyed my time with it. Me and my family, my mother, and my little brother, we played this game a lot. It's a really fun title, and I think it's safe to say we're very excited for when the Jamboree thing, the DLC for it on Switch 2 comes out. We're gonna definitely get our hands to play more of that as well. I might have to convince some buddies of mine to buy Jamboree though. We'll see. I thought you had to pay $10 for the what is it, SW2 upgrade. Yeah. So, you are correct, Executive Judge. But if you have a Nintendo Switch Online, expansion pass membership, if I'm correct, you get the expansion of not the expansion, but you get the Switch 2 upgrades of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for free. Now for Mario Party Jamboree, I think it's like $20, 10, $20, I think. And to be fair, it does include a lot of new modes and all that stuff. But at least for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, those are free if you have the Nintendo Switch Online plus Expansion Pass. I don't know if it's for the original Nintendo Switch Online, but for Expansion Pass, I think it's also for that one. All right, let's move on into the next one. We'll try to speed blaze through these. Pokken Tournament Deluxe. Anyway, on to the next title. Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout. Okay, I'm going to be 100% real with you. This game I only bought because of this chick right here. And to be fair, in my defense, okay? In my defense, everybody was like that when this game was first announced. And this title, she hardcore carried it for me personally. She is a wonderful character. I mean, design wise, she is absolutely great. Don't get it twisted. But all the other characters that you get introduced later are just as great as her. But I love this cast of character. This is such a comfy experience. Like the battle mechanics are meant to be taken very lightly. You're meant to learn more about alchemy. You're meant to learn about merging different materials to create higher upgrades of weaponry and increase your chances of progressing through the game much faster through that. There was actually in early, if I recall correctly, early on, you can actually break this game pretty quickly, which is freaking bonkers how quick it was. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this game. It's a comfy experience. I love Ryza. I love the other characters. It's not meant to be taken as a serious JRPG game or of that kind of style. It's just meant to be a fun, comfy experience. And if you like those style of games, this one is going to be great for you. It's a nice introduction story for that. All right, let's continue on with more of the shenanigans. Why don't we? We got more of them over here. Let's get to it. All right, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This one was such a unique experience because of the reveal of this game. You guys remember when this was revealed in Ubisoft's presentation in E3? And of course, the director tearing up and emotionally about that because everybody was really loving the concept of this with Mario and Rabbids. Like, this is a concept that should not have worked, and it worked. And I loved it. I'm not a big fan of the sequel for obvious reasons. They took my boy Yoshi compared to this one that has my boy Yoshi on it. But the title is fun. The gameplay is fun. It's a unique concept in terms of exploration and battling. But I think it's similar to like XCOM. I think that's what they described it as. But it is a really good game, and I would highly recommend if you haven't had a chance to try it, to at least maybe try out the demo. I think there is a demo for it. Don't take my word for it. Richie would get mad at me if I don't praise this game. So Crash Bandicoot, the insane trilogy that has all three games. This is the one, if I recall correctly, where I think only the first game is in this cartridge, and then the other two you have to download via DLC, or not DLC. You have to download them online. But no, Crash Bandicoot. I mean, the original PlayStation games are great. I love Crash Bandicoot when I played them at my cousin's place when he had these titles. They are wonderful platformers, iconic, should be up there with the likes of Mario and Sonic, and they are horrible speed running because the precision and tightness you have to do with this game is above any other platform titles I think I've played before in the past. I'm just saying. Jesus Christ, this game is crazy. Hey, look, more Pokemon. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. You guys remember this controversial title? Yeah, the one with the Pokeball thing, which I did actually get my hands on, which is actually really cool because you were able to use that for other things as well. Let's Go Eevee was a lot of fun because I was able to break it pretty early on in game. I'm gonna be 100% real. Breaking the game was 100% the reason why I love this game. Um, so so for this title in specific, I remember playing it on stream, and I think it was with Terrell. I think Tyrone was there as well, and whoa, whoa. But Let's Go Eevee. I remember playing it online, and one of the things that I did when I came back into another session was that I was trying to collect a shiny Vulpix. I had no luck getting the shiny Vulpix. My heart sank. Until I learned later down the road that because I've been capturing Vulpixes left and right willy nilly, and it's created this chain, I ended up leveling up my Pokemon to around 70 by the third gym because I wanted to get my hands on a Vulpix. So let that teach you a lesson of like how nuts this game can really be, in the sense of like collecting Pokemon, collecting the candies, collecting all this stuff. It is an experience, but it is an incredible looking Pokemon game, a unique concept, and I wish it went a little further as you know we gotten more Let's Go games. I really. I know people don't like Let's Go as much, but I think a Let's Go Johto would have been really good, in my opinion. Am I grateful that we went with the Legends font instead of Let's Go? Absolutely. But I still wouldn't mind if we got another Let's Go title. Maybe Let's Go Johto. Just saying. I think that'd be kind of fun. Mario Party Superstars. Similar to Mario Party Jamboree, a lot of fun with friends and family. If you own Superstars, you are a super player, especially because it owns all of the titles from the past, from Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 specifically, with mini games ranging from 1 through 10. It is a blast of games, so much fun. Highly recommend. Some of the best top tier mini games of all time. One of the best Mario Party games of this generation. All right, let's go into the next one. Mario Tennis Aces. It's tennis, I guess. Like it doesn't have that level of charm that I think it wanted to get back when it came out. But it is still a good game. Don't get it twisted. I just think it could have been so much more. Here's another title that I think Richie would also like for me to go and talk about. Rayman Legends, the definitive edition. I remember I bought this during one of the early years of Nintendo Switch's life because I found this game for like $20 and I was like, $20 for like one of the greatest platformers of the modern era. This game right here, absolutely. The level design is incredible. The music is incredible. Some of the rhythm levels are absolutely insane. Collecting the lums and everything. Oh my god. Now, this game is so much fun. It's brimming with creativity. It's brimming with content. People should play this title. It is a very, very just unique and fun 2D experience that I think people would love. But that's just my opinion, of course. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. I remember having a lot of fun with this one, and I hope we get a Mario Maker 3. Please, can we get a Mario Maker 3? Super Mario Maker 2. This title is so much fun. I loved playing people's levels. I loved playing people's levels in this game. I love that I got to try. I remember I did the stream with Nessa specifically for this one, where we did the mole wagon or the bandwagon levels, and that shit was so funny because we actually got the people who made the levels in the bandwagon to actually show up on stream and watch us do funny shit. It is probably still one of my favorite experiences playing with this game. If you are really like you love the Mario Maker community, that will be your ticket to getting all of the best levels. Because of course, as Mario Maker, the whole concept is just the world of levels that exist out there. But if you are within the Mario Maker community, you'll be able to find a lot of hidden gems, a lot of wonderful makers, and incredible experiences, both hilarious and enriching. Especially hilarious. The troll levels in this game are second to none, bro. They are some of the funniest things you'll see to have right there on chat. And of course, to see Richie over there screaming for Rayman. Absolutely, sir. Rayman deserves all the praise. Okay, let's continue on with the next ones over here. You know, obviously, given people were talking about recently with the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, we can't go and ignore Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls 5. Oh my god. You guys remember when you had to talk with Super Mario? You know, that shit was incredible in this story. Skyrim is such a fun concept. That was what got me into the Elder Scrolls, and I think a lot of people through this game was how they were introduced to the Elder Scrolls franchise. And Bethesda as a whole, really. Skyrim is such a fun game. I don't really need to go too into detail. If you own it on PC, you have more opportunities to play with the mods side of thing. It is so great. But yeah, Skyrim is a hit. It's a classic. If you haven't had a chance to play it, by all means do. And if you enjoyed this one, I hope that your experience, if you do try out Oblivion, the remastered version, you'll have a lot of fun with that as well. So, yeah. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Need I say more? One of the highest selling games on the... No, it is the highest selling game on the Nintendo Switch console. One of the greatest racing games. Filled to the brim with so much content. 96 courses, both good and bad. Battle arena. So many characters. Yoshi, Pauline, Funky Kong. Funky Kong? Absolutely, sir. Yeah, no, this 8 Deluxe is an experience. This is the game that just gives nothing but joy across every platform. And I really hope that Mario Kart World can capture that charm that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe provided. Even though Mario Kart 8 technically came out on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is its home. I'm just saying, on Switch. Man, let's continue. Man, I didn't remember owning this many games of Crash Bandicoot. I'm going to be 100% real with you. Crash Team Racing. I remember playing a bit of this. And I really enjoyed it. It's a very unique experience because it had like a live service going on with like seasons where you're able to unlock other characters. I know Spyro was one of them as well. And Crash Team Racing is actually funny to see this game come after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because they're kind of like competitors in a sense. But Crash Team Racing is a really fun racing style game. It is nothing like what you would expect from Mario Kart, but that's the best thing about it. It's its own style. It's its own way of playing. The character roster is pretty good, but through the season pass and unlocking new characters through that, it became better. And so, yeah, no, try out Crash Team Racing if you haven't yet. Really fun title right there. Whoa, indeed. Super Mario Odyssey. I can't wait to replay this again when it comes to Switch 2's improvements that they're going to be offering for us. Really incredible, one of a kind 3D Mario experience. We're back to the sandbox platforming that we grew to love with in Super Mario 64 and in Sunshine, but especially 64. This one right here is an instant classic. There's no need for me to praise any more than it just being another 3D Super Mario game people grew to love and enjoy. So, of course, I have to give that love. Oh, this one is a unique experience, I won't lie to you. Doki Shit, I can't even say it properly. Doki Doki Literature Club. Yes, that's right. This game right here was released physically on the Nintendo Switch, and I think amongst other titles as well. But goddamn, Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't really have much experiences with this title on the Switch. It mainly grew with me on the PC side of things. But damn, did this game leave an impact in the industry, and it left an impact in our lives from when we played this game live before in the past. What a wonderful journey this was. Absolutely, absolutely a wonderful experience. Wasn't that a show? No, it was never a show. It was a visual novel that was presented in this title that went above and beyond and blew everybody's minds away as the story progressed further and further. I won't go into all the details. It is an experience that you need to try out for yourself if you have yet to do so. I'm not going to say anything more and anything less other than it was good. Okay, this is a good title here. Ring Fit Adventure. I own this. I love this. This is such a good game. I spent hundreds of hours on this game because the workout in this is unlike any other. I don't have the ring wheel with me right here, but this game is so good. I love the style of the game. I love the workout that you have to do from, actually walking with your feet, actually pressing in the wheel to try to unleash an attack and whatnot. And depending on how strong you did it, it will unleash more damage or less damage depending on how far you get into it. This game is just genuinely a lot of fun. It's a good workout game too. And yeah, no, it just kept my heart pacing every day, bro. The Ring Fit Adventure, I really hope they try a sequel to this in the Switch 2. This title absolutely deserves it, and I hope people who haven't tried Ring Fit Adventure yet that want a good workout, give it a shot. You will absolutely love it. Alright, next title. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Fire Emblem Engage. I want to say this is probably the weakest Fire Emblem game I've played. I think that gameplay wise and all that, I think it's really good. I really enjoyed what they were trying to go for with this title. But there was nothing that left an impact with me with this one compared to Three Houses and especially Fates. Fates is probably still my favorite Fire Emblem game. Engage really didn't engage me into continuing more of it. I remember Terrell streaming this, and I did watch it through that. But like I said, I just did not find myself as attached as I wanted to with Fire Emblem Engage. I think it could have been a lot more, but the Colgate siblings right over here in the front did not really do it justice. I don't really remember much of the story. I just remember that characters from the past, in the form of the ring, comes into this game, and you get to work with them and whatnot. But other than that, that's that's as much as that goes for my ideas behind Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Engage. If anybody enjoys Engage, by all means, I hope you love it. Just not me as much as I wanted to. All right, let's continue. Breath of the Wild. I already went into it with the Tears of the Kingdom, so I don't need to go too deep into that. Thank God. This one's gonna look horrible on green screen. I'm gonna be 100% real with you, so apologies in advance because of all the green. Mario Golf, Super Rush. Mario Golf Super Rush is a game in the sense that it could have been so much better had they not done the same thing they did with friggin' Strikers. Do I have Strikers on hand with me right now? No, I do not. I do not have Strikers on hand, but it suffers from trying to be a seasonal type of game, and because of that, when the game first launched, it didn't have really any content that would really be enticing to continue playing. If you were to play the 3DS version of this golf game, It is significantly filled to the brim with creativity, with unique level designs, with unique concepts and unique battle styles. The Super Rush just does not live to it, in my opinion. It could have been a lot better, but it did not live to the hype. What did live to the hype, however, is this title over here, Super Mario RPG. Of course, legendary title right here. It's a classic from the SNES that was remade for the Nintendo Switch completely with brand new 3D visuals and all that. If you've played the original SNES, you'll love this one. It is a one-to-one remake of it. I loved it so much. I grew so heavily attached to it. Hey there, Chloe. I hope I pronounced that right. I hope you are doing well. We're just talking about the Nintendo Switch experiences. Currently talking about Super Mario RPG, and yeah, no, like I loved Super Mario RPG. It is the music's great, the characters are great. I mean, come on, Gino and Mallow obviously being introduced in this title here. How many physical games you got? Not as many as you think. I'll probably say maybe like 60, 70 Switches, I want to say. Switch games. I won't go through every single one of them that I have because some of them are the collector's edition. So I won't have them on hand compared to like these type of things here. But yeah, so we'll talk about it when we get to some of the other bigger titles. But yeah, Super Mario RPG is a really good one that I highly recommend. And speaking about other games I highly recommend, Astral Chain is another title I highly, highly recommend. Really, really love the story. Really love the battle style. It is, I'm gonna be 100% real. It might get a little hard getting used to it because it is such a unique gimmick and all that stuff. Thoughts on the recent Pokemon Horizons arc? Give me a second. Let me just go ahead and finish this up, and I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the Horizons arc. Astral Chain, really wonderful concept, really wonderful characters. I love the designs. I love the setting. I love what they're trying to go for with this game, and I'm glad this game did really well. I'm glad this game sold 1 million copies. This game deserves it, and I hope that at some point we get to see a sequel from it. Although since Hideki Kamiya is no longer with Platinum Games, what the hell is happening with Platinum Games Studios? I don't really know, but in the meantime, I'm gonna appreciate the games that they did give me, and they gave me Astral Chain, and Astral Chain is so much fun. Is it those games like Persona or something? No, it's not like Persona. Persona is. Well, actually, I think Persona was mostly digital anyway on Switch. I'm gonna be real with you. But okay, so we're gonna take a little quick break on that and talk a little bit about what was mentioned here. Thoughts on the recent Pokemon Horizons arc? Whew, okay. I'm gonna be real with you. The biggest thing that I think this arc has going for it is that time passed. Like, I'm not joking with you. I feel like the time skip thing is probably the strongest thing that this new arc has going for it. Because as of right now, I'm not 100% feeling what this arc is giving to me. Like, it's great that they're trying to kind of play on the continuation of the events that transpired in the end of the original first act of Horizons, by having by having the antagonists actually be seen as the good guys in the setting of Horizons. And it looks like it would be going somewhere, but I don't feel like it's as fleshed as much as they need it to be at this moment. And to be fair, it is still early on. I'm not a big fan that a new character joined the mix. He feels very disjointed from all the other characters because he does not feel like he belongs. Like, the whole premise of this is to see the events of how it's seen from the characters again in their perspective, and now being kind of seen as the antagonist in the story instead of the protagonist. But the new guy, I mean, it's cool he has a Sableye, don't get it twisted. I love the Sableye. But other than that, though, that's really all I got. Like, I think it's trying to do stuff, but it's not there yet. So I don't want to criticize it too much. Maybe later down the road, it'll get further to what it is that I'm expecting from this arc. But as of right now, it is going kind of, Although, in my opinion, Meowscarada is hardcore carrying Horizons right now. That cat is so fun to watch. It breaks the fourth walls. It actually emotes when it needs to. I love how goofy this cat is, and it's just a giant humanoid cat, you know. And it's so like Miascarada hardcore selling it for me right now. But like if we're talking about the main story and all that, not so much. I'm just saying, you know. So Sableye trying to eat Terrapagos is funny as fuck. I'll give you that though. You're right. If it's doing that. Rocket League, the collector's edition. I don't really have much to say about this one. I didn't really play too much of it. But you know what I did play much of? I'm talking about this one over here, specifically Project Diva Mega 39, the Hatsune Miku game. I have to give shout outs to one of my buddies out there, if they're watching or not, to a good friend of mine, Joker, who was and is like probably one of the biggest Miku fans I know out there. And I remember watching her play just a bunch of titles and just mentioning, especially actually, I remember, I think it was a car ride back from the convention. And I remember her playing this Sekai, Project Sekai or whatever it was called on damn, I have it on my phone. I can't believe I don't remember it. But it was the mobile game for this, which is just like the rhythm game. And I remember her blazing through that, like tapping like this and getting perfect scores out of it. It is insane how she did that. I don't know how she's able to. I'm just gonna assume she freezes time, but her watching her play really got me to want to try this out, and so I went ahead and bought this. And God, this is such a fun game. If you love rhythm games, if you love that kind of concept, this is the one to go for. Hatsune Miku is just going to deliver as always. I mean, it's Hatsune Miku. Of course, she's going to deliver. She's the queen, of course, of rhythm. And yeah, it's great. So let's see. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've talked a little bit about it with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I enjoy Xenoblade Chronicles 3, especially the ending for this. The ending for this is heart wrenching. It hits you hard. It emotionally gets to you. If you love the characters, that ending messes you up, bro. And it's such a good one. I'm gonna shout out a good friend of mine, Mr. Goldminer out here. For Monster Hunter Rise. I'm gonna be 100% real. I'm not like the biggest Monster Hunter fan out there, you know, that I think I am compared to like other people. Actually, let me go ahead and fix this because there we go. Like Gold Miner is the one who I would say is like one of the biggest Monster Hunter fans out there, that I know of personally, friend wise. And he was kind of the sole reason why I tried out Rise. I love this game. The doggo is so cool. I was actually able to create a doggo that looks like Ruby in here, and he looks amazing. I love it. But the combat in this game is great. It running on Switch as good as it is, especially online connectivity with fighting these big baddies, is absolutely mind blowing. How they got this to work on the Switch. This game should not even function on the Nintendo Switch, but it does, and it's so good. The multiplayer experience is incredible. The combat is great. The setting is great too. I couldn't ask for a better experience. Bomberman R. This title. I'm gonna be real. I don't really remember too much of it. I do remember that this was a launch title when it came out with the Nintendo Switch, and because of it, it sold bonkers, bro. Because it was like one of the early day one titles, you know, and it did really good. But it's not like what I would call like the most mind blowing Bomberman game out there. It is a really good Bomberman game, but nothing that I would say is different from previous titles before in the past. Has a unique visual aesthetic going for it. Yeah, it's Bomberman. If you love Bomberman, you'll love this one. Highly approve. Okay, we're down to the last batch of things I got over here. Let's wrap things up for Nintendo Switch 1 at least. Okay, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This is a great title in the sense that nobody's able to get this no more. If you didn't buy this when you did, oops. But yeah, Super Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy together in one complete package here. Really great time. If you already enjoyed the classics, you're going to love this one again. And given that it got the HD treatment for Sunshine specifically, oh, absolutely. It's a good game. And I can't wait to try replaying that game again when the GameCube controller comes, because I want to replay Sunshine with that. and I think it's going to be great because of it. Ah, man. I'm drinking all this water, bro. I'm going to have to use soon. Okay. This Gaia 5. Um, this is a strategy RPG type of game. I don't really know how to explain much of this one. I do love the little funny penguin. The little funny penguin is what sold me this game. I'm going to be real with you. But I don't really remember much outside of it. This is one of the year one titles I bought for the Switch one. Um, and I just enjoyed it for what it was. But after that, I just put it to the side after I completed the game and don't remember anything afterwards. But this title I do remember because it is another classic right here. Bayonetta 2 with the Bayonetta 1 expansion stuff in it. Really great stuff. Really great game. What else could I say about it? If you haven't played Bayonetta before, try these out. It's a really wonderful experience. I think it's like maybe $40 a pop on Nintendo Switch. And they work just really well here on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, originally released on the Wii U, but brought here to the Switch 2 in preparation for Bayonetta 3. So great titles. I mean, it's Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2. You already know hack and slash. You know how Bayonetta is. She is going to party. And if you know how she is as a battler, woo-wee. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. Originally released on the Wii U. Never thought I would see this coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to be 100% real with you. I remember the controversy for this, where it was based on the English version or the US edition of this title and not the Japanese one, or something like that. I don't really know all the specifics. I enjoyed it. It's nothing mind blowing. It's a really good title. I think it could have been a lot better, but I still got a good time with this one. So yeah, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, another really good title here. I mainly have to thank, I think it was Tyrone who streamed this at one point, and I remember seeing it, and I actually enjoyed it a lot, so I bought the complete edition. It came with 2 stories in one package. So yeah, I own it. Really good games. Highly recommend trying them out. I actually got it for PS Plus for free on my PS5, so I'm replaying it through there. Really good. Okay, so Kuro, you got your wish, buddy. Arms. I don't. I wish I had more to say, buddy. I really do. I don't really got anything to give for this one. Arms is a game. It tried to be something. I mean, it gave us Twin Tail chick. I mean, her. But other than that, really, there's not much else I could say about it. Will it really get a brand new life through the Nintendo Switch 2 update that it's getting? I don't know. But if it is, that's really cool. I hope it delivers on that front. But other than that, I don't really see anything special about it. And then the last 2 titles I got on hand with me is Mario Strikers Charged, or Battle League, I'm sorry. We need legs, absolutely. Legs is going to be the game that will sell for sure. Call it thighs. I 100% tell you right now, that shit is going to go crazy. Mario Strikers Battle League. This is a really good game. I enjoyed playing it with family for when we did play it. It suffers the same fate as the golf game and the tennis game in that it tried to be a seasonal thing when it would introduce characters on a monthly basis, which meant that the game at its base start was kind of mid. But the game still delivered on that front. And if you enjoyed the Mario Strikers games from the past, I think you'll get a good kick out of this one. But I really do believe that the charm of the original just cannot be matched with the legend of the GameCube version. Battle League tried, but the original will always live on strong. And then the last one I have on hand here is Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 is a really fun multiplayer game, just as much as the other ones I've talked about in the past. God damn, man, the community is insane. I love the artwork that I saw back when it launched as well. Everybody was having fun with this title, myself included. The online ranked matches, the online verses with friends. It was such a really joyous ride. And then I ended up buying another copy of Splatoon 2 and thinking I bought 3. And so I never played Splatoon after that. My heart sank that day. But Splatoon is still a really good IP. It celebrated 10 years not too long ago. I think it was yesterday, actually. And very happy for the franchise being as successful as it is, and I cannot wait for when Splatoon 4 is going to be hitting us in the future, especially on the Switch too. God damn, that game is going to go nuts for sure. I can 100% feel it. It is going to go the nuts. But yeah, other than that, chat, that is really all I got for the Nintendo Switch library in physical games when it comes to physical copies. Now, on my Switch system itself, I have a lot of other digital games, and no, they're all great too. I just have them on digital because there's something I wanted to talk about with y'all when it comes to my opinion on the physical and digital media of Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 specifically. But let me go ahead and put everything away first before I continue. I hope you guys enjoyed my nice little collection of Switch games I have. I didn't show off everything, but I showed off the ones that I felt like it was fun to talk about the most. So, hope you guys enjoyed me rambling on for like an hour about my games on Nintendo Switch. I really do. I hope you guys got a good kick out of that. But yeah, let me go ahead, put this away real quick, and let us continue with more Switch discussion in just a bit. So this one and this one, I think they belong over here. There you go. These titles go here. Okay. Beautiful. There we go. They're all falling apart. Okay, good. There we go. Whew, man, what a journey that was. We're just 1 week away, chat. Woo! Just 1 week away from when the Switch 2 would come. What is this? Aw, look at this. It's my Nintendo 64 controller right here. But what makes this special is that this is the Nintendo Switch Online version of it, which I also do have one over here of the Nintendo Switch SNES controllers. So I have both of them on hand over here, and I do have the Sega Genesis version over there in its box because I never really played the Sega Genesis version of these titles before in the past. It's kind of funny actually. Yeah, no, so Nintendo Switch 2 as a concept is super exciting. I can't wait to relive through some of these games again, and I cannot wait to replay some of the titles that are getting Switch 2 enhancements. Like I stated before, as shown right here, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think are going to feel like completely brand new games through the enhancement alone. I think the enhancement is going to be glorious, in my opinion, and I cannot wait for that. But I want to talk about where I want to go with the Switch 2 for the future specifically. The reason why I'm saying it like this is because one of the coolest things that I think that a lot of fans grew to love and enjoy about the Switch 1 was the fact that the physical cartridges, they were really cool. You're able to just plop in here, put in a game, and just start playing and whatnot, right? Unfortunately, it's looking kind of iffy in that department for Switch 2, and that's mainly coming through the form of key cards. So this is causing a bit of controversy amongst the other controversial stuff that Nintendo Switch 2 is kind of finding itself in, where the how should I say, where games that you think would be physically in the cartridge itself, like say for example Bravely Default HD Remastered, a game that was originally on the 3DS that for some reason is not going to be in the cartridge itself. And instead, when you buy the physical copy of it, you get a key card and you plop it into your Switch 2. And what happens is that it downloads the game and then you can play it. And you would think, oh, if it's downloaded, then that means I don't have to worry about having to, plop the thing back in and then play the game again. It just downloaded it for me. No, if you ever want to play these titles again, you need to put the physical into the disc to actually play these titles whenever and wherever. That to me is insane. And the issue, my issue with it is that it's not like a bad thing per se. If it was maybe like one or two titles, like I thought off the top of my head that was gonna be for Cyberpunk 2077. Like I thought that was going to be the physical game that was not going to be physical and it was going to be purely digital just because of how much content there is. But you're telling me that that title is somehow capable of putting everything inside its cartridge, but games like Bravely Default, Street Fighter 6, Sonic and Shadow Generations, And many other third party titles are just not going to be there in a physical form, and instead you have to go and buy the key. You have to buy the game, you have to acquire the key card that it's given to you when you buy physical games, and then you have to install it when you play when you plop it into your system. And I think it still has to connect online to install it. So what's the point of even owning the key card? You're essentially putting yourself in a position where you're not fully owning the game unless you have that key card. And if you end up losing it, say sayonara to the game on your Switch 2 console. So, in my opinion, at least for now, because of how many games are currently looking to just be exclusively via the game card key thing, I don't think I am going to be really buying a lot of physical games for the Switch 2 this year, or just in general compared to how I was in the past. Like, for example, like all these games I've talked about right here, all of these are physicals. All of these have the game inside the disc. You just plop, well, aside from like I think Crash Team Racing, or not Crash Team Racing, the Crash Bandicoot collection, which has the first one in there, and the other two you have to download separately. I'm like, okay, that's kind of fine. At least you get one of the three games. These, they don't have any form of data in there. You have to download them and then still have the key intact to then be able to play these games, which is absurd. Why is that a thing? I think it should have been a lot better, personally, if they were to have instead, offered these games in the cartridge itself. The charm of these games inside this little teeny tiny cartridge is what makes it so special of owning the physical copies. But when you eliminate that and you tell me that I only bought like a flimsy thing that's meant to be as a detection key for the game to actually open on my console, why would I go out of my way to go and buy this when I could just own it digitally and just have a digital library? And also, if I have a digital library, I don't have to carry around these games around on a physical thing. I just have to make sure I have this on hand. And I'll have all my digital games. Like, for example, with the Switch 2, Mario Kart World is going to be digitally installed on my Switch system. Pokemon Legends EA, because it is a Pokemon game and I know I'm going to be playing that quite often, I'm going to have that digitally here on my system as well. Um, Other big titles that I think would be a lot of fun to own through here, like I want to go ahead and download, say, not Undertale, like Deltarune. I want to download the next, what other titles there? Not Bonanza. I don't think Bonanza I'm going to have the digitally. I might have that one physically. But like for a majority of the games, I want to have them digitally because they don't exist in the card. So why would I buy the card when I could just own the digital? And you might ask yourself, well, technically you don't own the digital. It's still not fully yours. Like compared to a physical, I can have this thing holding on my hand right here. I could just pull this out and be like, yo, look what I got. I got me a physical copy of Minecraft. Compared to a digital copy, what you can't hold. But here's my issue with that. um, this is just as ineffective if I was to own it digitally, because the only key difference between owning this and owning the digital is the form of a physical thing on hand. But when the servers go down, that little flimsy thing, if you don't have the games already installed on the Switch 2, that thing is not going to function because it's not physically in the cartridge itself. You need to still download that thing. But if the servers are down, what are you downloading it into? You know what I mean? So it is rather unfortunate that a lot of third party titles are sadly suffering from this. I think it would have been a lot better had they been in the physical cartridge. So also, to be fair, this also looks kind of a little messy too on how it looks there. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know, man. I'm a bit bummed out by it. Like I saw Street Fighter 6 was like that, which is another title I wanted to own. I saw, what was it? There were a bunch of titles I remember seeing that I wanted to get, like the Bravely Default HD. Also, same thing too. You're not really buying the physical. You're really just buying the card key to then uh have it download to then play the game, but you need the card key on hand to even play said title, which is insane to me. So that's what I'm saying. Like it makes from my head at least. Once again, just to reiterate, this is just from my perspective. At the end of the day, if people want to take it a little differently, they're more than welcome to. This is just how I want to view it. It just feels like, why would I want to make myself have extra steps to download these things when I could just simply have them on my Switch console? And given the higher storage capacity that I have with this thing, I don't have to worry about, you know, I don't have to worry too much about what's going to happen with the stuff. I just have to make sure my Switch console is safe. And given that it's tied to my account as well, I think I'll be okay for the most part. But yeah, no, that's really all I got to say on this, the Switch digital versus physical thing. I think I might just go pure digital for a lot of Nintendo games and just third party games as well. Elden Ring, I don't know if that's going to be on the cartridge. If it is in cartridge, that's cool. But if it's not, I might just have to buy that digitally. If I have to, like, if I'm already having Mario Kart World digitally, then I might as well just have that one there. In fact, I'm going to be 100% real with you. I know I own the physical copy of these games, but I'm gonna be real. I might just do that for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I might buy one of these games digitally just to have it on my system, so I don't have to worry about looking for these things. Given that they're getting the Switch 2 enhancements, might as well have that stored safely in my account on my Switch 2. Like I feel like as time passes on, it's feeling less and less enticing as as a consumer to go full on physical compared to how it was in the past. Like, which is a bummer, which is a really big bummer, because the reason I love showing off what I did right now was because physical media is such a special thing to own. It's like opening a book for the first time. It's such a special thing to have in hand. But if you strip that away from me and you're giving me just a piece of plastic that just serves as a unlock code to play these games, why do I need to do that? And just let me buy the game no digitally. That's really all I think it would be served best as. Um yeah, it really does feel like we're fading out of physical media, which is a bummer, Orion. Absolutely. It is a huge bummer in that department. And the reason why it's such a huge bummer is because sadly this is affecting a lot of physical media stores as well. Best Buy, what was it? Not too long ago, they got rid of their cabinet of like the Blu-ray copies of movies and all that, and stripping them away from these locations. Like it's becoming more and more apparent how physical media and physical entertainment in general is now becoming less and less apparent and more push towards the digital side of things with music, with streaming services, even in the video game industry, it's also suffering that same fate as well. I mean, like, as great as it is to have something like the Xbox Game Pass, it is really pushing hardcore heavy for you to own these games digitally, which hurts too, because if a game gets sucked out of the subscription service, you can't play them no more. You know, like you won't have full on control of these titles when they're on the subscription service compared to say when you just own them digitally or physically, and that's crazy. Um, and yeah, no, that's why I said I feel like I would not be a big fan of how they're treating physical media with the Nintendo Switch. And hell, I think it's so bad that I think some of the games that are going to be on Nintendo Switch 2, some of them are not even going to come with the key card. They're going to come instead with a download code. So you're still buying, you're buying the physical box just to have a piece of paper inside it, which is kind of crazy. Um, you can't even sell it back because it's that piece of paper that you already installed onto your other system. Like I understand, like, okay, the key card, like let's say you play a game and you don't want to play it no more and you can sell it. Like compared to that, a key card you can sell back to GameStop or any place that you want to sell your games to. You can't really do that with digital media. Which yeah, I guess that makes sense, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better alternative to this, in my opinion. But that's just how I feel in the matter, of course. So yeah. And lastly, I think I just want to talk about my thanks to this console. Really, the Nintendo Switch console came at an appropriate time for me personally because it was the transition for a lot of my stuff here on this platform. Back before I lost a decade, I guess you could say, worth of content, from YouTube's poor algorithm and poor choice of, taking things out, and taking my channel away. Nintendo Switch has been a joy to play. I love this thing. I adore this thing. I think I think this thing is a gem. When it came out, this was one of the strongest systems of its time. It's not powerful like how it is for current models out there for other platforms like the Xbox consoles or the PlayStation ones, but what it failed to have in power, it had with the opportunity to play this wherever and whenever, on the go, at home, in the toilet, whatever you want to see, choose. This game was for any possible out choice you had right there. Can you get me a Switch 2? Or at least you could you could lose it and I could get it by 2077 business day. Oh man, but yeah, so like no, I had a lot of fun with this thing, man. I had a joy with this. I can't wait to maybe do more streams leading to the countdown for when the Switch 2 comes, because I never really got a chance to talk about like my personal predictions of like what I personally want to see from Nintendo's library for the future. Given that the Switch 2 has the mouse connectivity, that opens up a whole window of other games out there that you wouldn't think would come to the platform that will now come to this Nintendo Switch 2 specifically just because of the mouse support. Just think about that. Like, there are a bunch of gacha games or mobile games that specifically work with a mouse that now can come over to the Nintendo Switch. It could literally be its home right there. I might just make a video about that instead. I think that would be a lot of joy to kind of talk about like my top 10 predictions of like what games that I personally want to see come to the Nintendo Switch 2. Whether it's titles that are already out or whether it's titles that exist or are about to come out. You know what I mean? Box inventory will be smooth now. Man, you know, Switch players go from sturdy FPS shooters to 120 FPS with mouse support overnight. And that's what's crazy, Goldminer. Bro, Metroid is going to be nuts with that. Shooter games are going to be great with that. Mouse support with shooter games is going to be great. That might just be COD's new home. If the game is graphically as good as it is on Xbox and on PlayStation 5, boy, with the mouse support alone, it's going to go nuts on Nintendo Switch for sure. Hell, I'm gonna be silly with this one. Nikkei got us a victory. There's a PC client for it that supports full-on mouse enhancement. Bring the PC port over to Nintendo Switch. It's a gacha game, but given that it's used a tablet, you could play it through there. I'm just saying, there are these things that they could do. Honkai, Star Rail, Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero. You finally can come to the Nintendo Switch. The game is now functionally possible on Nintendo Switch's platform, so I hope they bring it over. I think Hoyo mentioned they would love to bring that platform or their games to the platform, so fingers crossed that they do. I would love to play that. That would be my way to play Zenless Zone if I do streams for that game. That would be my form of way of playing it because I would love it. League of Legends on Nintendo Switch 2 with mouse support. Absolutely. Like LOL, any of the other games that are like in the mobile style. Hell, even games that already exist right now could get updated with mouse support. Freaking Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Unite with mouse support. Boom. That shit is going to be nuts. Final Fantasy 14 PC version on Switch 2. Now that might be a big stretch right there. I'm going to be 100% real with you. Okay, that one might be going a little above and beyond. I'm going to be 100% real with you there. But if they did bring Final Fantasy 14 to Switch 2, that would be kind of huge, not going to lie. I don't know. I'm going to be real. I have no idea how they're going to make Final Fantasy 14 work on Switch 2. Because as much as it is to have a mouse on that thing, There are a lot of key command button layouts and all that stuff that benefits from the PC side of things that you really cannot transition over onto Switch 2. Although to be fair, anything's possible. It's up to the developers to come with it. But I'm just saying, I don't know if Final Fantasy 14 could live up to all that stuff there. Do you think the mouse will be the new stylus? Because you mentioned Mystery Dungeon, so I'm thinking of Ranger. I think it could. Like, I guess it depends. Like, I know I saw people using like their knees so that they could just do that with their hands right here and just use the knee as a way to circle, whatnot. Although that could be a bit of a problem though, Kerr, because that would mean that you would need to play the game, not on hand. That would require you to instead. Here, I'll show you. That would require you to instead have to play this game. If you're playing it like this, you're gonna have to play it as without the Joy Cons attached. You're not playing it on hand, or if you are, you're gonna look like this while your mouse is like that. It doesn't feel right. So I don't know if Ranger would. Ranger would be like one of those titles that I think would benefit with the mouse support, but I don't know how they would handle it in terms of gameplay design. But hey, anything's possible. Anything's possible for Nintendo Switch 2. So you know what? More power to them if they can do that. Imagine Nintendogs on Switch 2, bro. Nintendogs on Switch 2 is also going to be pretty cool to see. I don't know anything outside of that I think would be mind blowing for Nintendogs, but hey, if I can use my mouse thing to like throw the frisbee and have the dogs catch it, thumbs up on that department. But yeah, really, that's all I gotta say in terms of my talks for tonight. I really just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of reflect a little bit on Nintendo Switch by kind of talking about a lot of the games that I had brought here to you tonight. And I really want to try to go ahead and talk about more of these things at a later date about like my personal joys of what I would like to see from Nintendo Switch 2, maybe for consoles, maybe for additions, maybe for Nintendo Switch 2 variations. Like I believe, for example, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I didn't even show that. I don't even have a physical of that. I have a digital. The digital game is here on my Switch. I believe like Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's gonna be getting the Nintendo Switch 2 version. Or Super Mario, no, Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. I think that's going to be getting Switch 2 edition, I think that would be a lot of fun to kind of go ahead and talk about those on, uh, you know, on like another video that would be like, these are my predictions for what I would love to see from so and so and whatnot. Monster Hunter Wilds on Switch 2 when. Whoo, okay, that one might be a bit tough. I'm going to be 100% real with you. Well, I should know because graphically, Monster Hunter Wilds isn't really what I would call mind blowing per se, but I think it could functionally run on Nintendo Switch 2. It might be a little graphically less than how it is on the PS5 and Xbox, but I think it'll still look good, especially if you're playing it on the small screen as is. Yeah, I think it'll look great on that. But I don't think it's gonna be coming out for a long time, though, in my opinion. Um, no, Grand Theft Auto 5. Come on, man. There's no excuse. You could bring that to the Switch too. Like if we're not gonna get GTA 6 on Switch 2, might as well bring the GTA 5 on Switch 2. I guarantee you that's gonna bring a whole slew of new people to try out the game on Switch 2. Just saying. Just saying. Um, but yeah, no, that's really all I gotta say for tonight, ladies and gents. I want to make a nice little quickie stream. Talk a little bit about my do's and don'ts, my hopes and dreams, and my expectations of like, well, not my expectations, but like my experiences with the Switch in and of itself. And hopefully, I get to do more streams later down the road to kind of get back into the swing of things. But I'm gonna be updating you guys at least right now, just in terms of like what I want to do for the future. Obviously, I had a lot of fun here to talk with y'all and share my joy of the Switch system itself. But obviously, I do want to think about going back into streaming and playing more games. Obviously, with the release of Switch 2 coming, I want to replay some of these games and stream them online here with y'all. So I might do streams of video games at some point, but I don't think I will be doing them here. I think I want to make sure that this platform specifically, at least on this channel here, stays exclusively with Nintendo discussions or Pokemon discussions or game discussions or whatever kind of thing. Like I want to keep it like this, where I'm just talking with you face to face, when I'm talking with the audience face to face here with the chat. Like I want to make sure like I'm talking directly to y'all. And maybe what I might do is I might use Twitch as a platform again, just to play like some of the games, at least until I could figure out how to create a new channel that would be specifically for gaming, where I'll stream there for games and stream discussions and talks here with y'all on this platform in the meantime. So it's still up in the air. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to shape up. Will things look better down the road? I don't really know. Let me see. A little birdie telling me an Arxis game, Switch 2 game is coming. Dude, I need them to bring. Wait, are they the ones that are working on it? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, bro. I need them to bring that to Switch 2. I saw Galleon. Just saying, she's peak. And I need to play that game, bro. I'm a double dip for it. I'm gonna buy it on PS5, and if they then announce that it's coming to Switch 2 edition, I'm gonna have to re-buy it for Switch 2. But in the meantime, I'm going to pay for big money for this fighting game, only because of the fact that that Galleon finally showed up as a playable character, which means I have to buy the game fully, and then I have to buy the DLC. Shit, that's gonna be a lot of money. But yeah, so sincerely though, look forward to me doing more streams later down the road. I really do want to get back into things, and I really want to try to find my mojo and where I, can feel right at home. But in the meantime, I want to kind of keep things as is for now. I'll talk more about it maybe on Twitter and kind of get people more, um, not involved, but like more up to date of where things are gonna go. Especially with the Switch 2 coming up, I look forward to it. Hope you guys really enjoyed tonight's stream. It's been a lot of fun chatting with y'all. Last, I do gotta call it a night though. Gotta get myself up for work early tomorrow, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass too. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to more fun shenanigans. So look forward to more videos from me later down the road. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for letting me have the chance to talk with you one on one. And thank you for just sticking around. I apologize for being gone as I have been for the past couple of weeks, not being able to make content. You guys, if you follow me on social media, you know what things have been going on. And now I'm just grateful to finally get myself back into it, get myself ready for more shenanigans. And I look forward to talking more about all things Nintendo Switch related stuff and whatever Pokemon stuff I occasionally have to talk about. Like even as a content creator, like for a Pokemon and whatnot, I'm not as big as I used to be with any poke compared to how I was back then. I still watch it, I still talk about it, but like my experiences with any poke is definitely hit its low point right now, especially since the journey with Ash and Pikachu already has been over with. But I still chill around whenever I get a chance to talk about any poke here with y'all. So we'll see how the adventure continues for that. But in the meantime, I'll leave it as is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here tonight. Really do appreciate your company. And I'll talk with all of you lovelies later in whatever video I make. Take care. And as always, do me a solid, ladies and gents, and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay? We'll speak then. Take care, everybody. Whew, there's the motorcycle going out. Also, Play Nikki got us a victory. Available now on PC and on mobile devices. Just saying, I need more friends to play that game. I think y'all would love it. Okay? Okay. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye. I'll see you then.